All of us fit into these categories. We're all green yellows, surprisingly, all exactly the same, and we're all reflectors. And I do know Greens tend to manage by consensus, so I thought it was important to open it up to field and give everyone the opportunity to give their argument why they want to be team manager. All being reflectors, they tend to like other people to jump in first. I was nominated to be number one, but me being a reflector, let's be straight up, I said, well, I'll do it if nobody else wants to do it. Okay, so hence I was appointed project manager. I took on the roles, I split a few roles and I'll walk you through it, but I was essentially the planner and looking after the budget. I thought, and having heard Christian, and I realise it's a big mistake not to do any pre-planning. I mean, we're not that amateur, let's be honest. So before we came on board, I sent out on the WhatsApp group an episode from The Apprentice where they were in Oxford and Cambridge and doing the exact same exercise as those. What I realised was a lot of the objects were related to the location. So I googled Birmingham, seeing what it was famous for bringing tennis to the world. We had to get a tennis ball. Canals, we had to get a stake in the ground that holds a boat. Jewellery, we had to get a ring. And parks, and we had to get some grass out of one of the parks. So we were certainly working along the right lines. We also set up a WhatsApp group so that we could, this was prior to coming here, so that we could share stories, share ideas, share the episode of The Apprentice with the group so they were more familiar, hit the ground running when they came. Another fear was, because we are also similar, and you've touched on the fact that it's nice to have different colours among you, is that we're all reflectors as well. So we had to work slightly outside of our comfort zone. We'd prefer somebody else to go in that shop, rather us be the second choice. So the fear was we all sit outside the shop going, you go first, you go first. So we had to work against that. So I split the teams into two so I could geographically get round a lot quicker. And I'm going to walk you through we're going to walk you through each of our roles, and we're going to walk you through some of the items we've got and how it relates back to the course. One of the items I got is coal. Now I come from a long lineage of miners. My granddad was a miner, all my uncles were miners, my dad did his apprenticeship down the mines. I can smell that from about 200 yards away. But this is how it relates to business. It was a case of serendipity. With the one item we couldn't find, we were looking for it. And we were walking along, and suddenly on the left-hand side of us, there was one of these sort of German marketplaces where they were doing the sausages, and there were sparks flying. So we were looking for the one object that we couldn't find, which was, how do you pronounce it? Yep, that one. And we found this, and you see this in business, this sort of idea of serendipity, in the sense that you may think, I want to be the best team in the country, I want to smash my budget, I want to be the biggest percentage of my budget, and you go hell for leather and you come fourth or fifth. But when you look at it again, and you look at your productivity, you're number one in the country. So you go looking for one thing, but through hard work you come up with a result in another hand. So that's an example of that. So I'll pass you on to Mohit.
Hi everyone. I was given the task of negotiating and time management. Nothing can be beaten if you acquire something for free. So I got these two items for free basically. We went to sports direct shop, saw a pack of 3 balls, about £2.50. But I saw one of the pack was open, so I lose ball, and one straight to the manager. I saw one of the customer was speaking to the manager named Nicola. Found out she was very amiable, chatty person. Just asked her straight away, can we have this ball for free? And she said straight away yes. And I got lucky on spare button from the Marks shirt. And these are not normal buttons, these are M&S buttons basically. Over to Adil.
Right. So my role was to arrange transport and logistics. For me, arranging the transport was a bit of task because it can go disaster as well, because I have experienced that people agree straight away but they don't turn up on time. So I have to use my emotional bank account. So I've looked onto my account, and I have to find the right person who I can withdraw from his account, and it won't affect my relationship. So I play cricket with that guy. So I've called him and I've tried to influence him that I need your help. So he turned up on a time, in fact 15 minutes earlier, and then whatever I was saying to him, in fact we got a situation where we can only fit 4 people into the car. So we actually fit in 5 people in there, and I was in a bad situation because I was sitting on his lap and so
It's very early.
but eventually we managed it, and then we I worked out with my team on logistics. So straight away we find out what are things we need to find out, and then where we can go straight away, and where we can find in one place we can find all the items. So that went really well. So I just passed to Rob now.
I was in charge of money and budgets and trying to keep everybody collated on time. So the best thing to do is for me and Mark. Mark was in charge of one team, I was in charge of another team. So the best thing is to do that me and Mark kept in constant communication with each other. When they found an item that was off the list, so we both had a copy of the list. What we was able to do was get through the list. So we allotted parts of what we had to get to each other in terms of what we were going to prioritise. So I worked with Adil. Adil was logistics and getting around Birmingham. I don't know Birmingham at all, so Adil did. So it was Adil, when we were doing the pre-work, we were looking at where we could get different things, what it was famous for, the parks and so forth. So what we actually did was we spoke to your colleague and found the secret garden. We went and got the secret